Gainz o'clock. I'm Ryan Milton. Today we're talking about wellness, we're talking about haters, we're talking about fat loss, traveling, muscle building, and all of your questions. The top 5 that I get the most often, I kind of broke down for you, and then we're going to review some of your own fan-asked questions. This is Gainz o'clock. Every single Friday, I'm right here taking your Q&A questions, bringing you all the answers, the things you need to do to hopefully give you some information that you can take and you can make some damn progress with, all right? This show happens every single Friday. I'm right here, and it's just one of the awesome shows I got going every single week, so please make sure you subscribe and you share it if you get anything out of it. Thank you very much, and give me a thumbs up, all right? So, fam, let's kick it off right away. I don't want to delay too much. We're going to get right to business here. So we're going to start with my top 5 questions of the week, and basically, you know what I do when I come up with these is I'm looking at stuff I either got asked a lot, you know, via Instagram or Facebook or something like that, or I'm also taking from my client bank, the athletes and the clients that I work with, some stuff I'm getting from them, and then maybe sometimes even I'm throwing back in my head like, what do people always ask me that I could cover, all right? So these first 5 questions are going to kind of start the tone here, and then we'll move into fan-based questions. We got about 10 of those fan-based questions today. So a lot of good stuff to learn right here. Take some damn notes, all right, fam? All right. So here we go. Question number 1. How do I maintain balance on prep? This is something that comes up all the time. There's, many different variations of asking this question. Like, hey, how do I not have this happen? How do I make sure I don't slack off at work? How do I make sure my relationships don't fall through? All this kind of stuff when it comes to prep. When you gotta do a contest prep, okay, you are doing a very, intense training protocol. It is definitely no joke. You're not going to be able to casually just, hey, you know what, today I'm going to take the day off, or I'm going to screw off my meal plan, go out and, have a binge night, whatever. You can't do those types of things when you're on a prep because you're training for a very specific purpose. You're investing a lot of time, energy, money, and all that into it, so you want to bring your best, obviously, and pretty much most people that want to compete, go figure, actually want to win. And so when that comes to play, you do have to stick to a very intense and rigorous training protocol, but does that mean you can't have balance in your life? Absolutely not, right? There are a ton of people that work very, very hard for many different goals in life, and they are still able to maintain a balance of the rest of their life. So people that run their own businesses, or competitors, or, people that are maybe trying really hard for a weight loss challenge or something like that. People can invest themselves very heavily into something and have a large amount of time be dedicated towards it, but still be able to balance it. So when you're on a prep, here's how you do it. You got to make sure you have very smart programming done. There's no other way to put it. Very smart programming. You need to have the right training, the right nutrition. It needs to be custom for you, and it needs to have emphasis on the fact that, hey, you don't have 6 hours a day to be in the gym. I see some of these coaches pumping some of these crazy plans where you're doing 2-3 hours a day of cardio, plus 2 hours of weights, maybe more, plus posing. It's crazy. Obviously, if you do stuff like that, the rest of your life is gonna, take fall to it. Basically, your relationships are gonna suck. You're probably gonna lose your job, but you won't have any social friends. That's for damn sure. You're gonna have a lot of bad effects from doing something like that. Whereas if you actually did a smart prep, right, you could a lot of times do a contest prep without even doing a ton of cardio. For a lot of people, that is the way that I coach. Minimal cardio, maximal emphasis on nutrition, maximal emphasis on the weight training, and you can get the result. I've had some competitors go through an entire prep without doing a single session of cardio. And so, there is definitely the way you can balance it. You gotta have smart programming. When I take someone in, I'm like, hey, what do you do? What's your day job? How does that work for you? What else are you doing? What's going on? You got to, what do you need to, what's priority to you? You gotta spend time with the family. What do you need to do? And then I build a program that's going to get them the best physique, the best result, and get them in that best spot for whatever that goal is. And so that's what's got to be always taken in consideration. If you want help with this and you're serious about it, teamfflex.com right now. Subscribe to my mailing list. I'll show you exactly how to set this up and get yourself into more balance. Question number 2, fam, right here, Gainz o'clock. Coach Rye coming to you right now, Friday Live. We're talking about the difference between NPC Bikini and NPC Wellness is big, coming up all the time. People ask me this probably literally every day 4 or 5 times right now. And I've done so much content on wellness, I feel like, but apparently not enough. The main difference, I'm going to sum it up for you quick and easy, is going to be the lower body development, okay? NPC Bikini and NPC Wellness, the lower body in NPC Wellness is going to be far, far more developed. Way bigger glutes, way bigger quads, way bigger hamstrings, overall more lower body development, okay? That is the main difference aside from the posing, where now you're going to be doing quarter turns and things like that in wellness posing versus bikini posing, but the posing is still generally very similar. The main difference is going to be the lower body development. People, the women that are going to be in this are going to be way more developed on the lower body than in bikini, and that's just the way it is, all right? So that's the main difference. Slightly more muscle in the upper body for wellness competitors than bikini, but conditioning should be about the same, and everything else is pretty much, for the most part, going to be very similar, but we're going to see a big difference in the physiques on stage. Like, you shouldn't be able to put a bikini competitor next to a wellness competitor and not be able to tell the difference. That's definitely not going to be something that's happened. I know a lot of people are talking on Instagram and stuff that they're going to do both. It would be very, very hard to do good in both. You're actually, if you try to do both, I bet you do bad in both. Like, you're going to get last place in both of these divisions because basically you won't fit the category of the division. So wellness, if you got bigger, thicker legs, more glute development, or you want those things, that's the category for you to be in. Obviously, NPC Bikini's been going on for a while, so we have a very good track record for how that looks. The classic hourglass shape, a lot of symmetry, a lot of balance, a lot of shape in general. So those things are important to take into consideration, ladies, that if you're competing in one of these or another, you got to know which one you're going to do because you can't balance back and forth. It'd be very, very hard to do it. If some coach is telling you you can do it, I would stop hiring whatever coach that is because they're just talking shit. All right. Question number 3, can I train a specific body part more to make it improve faster? So this is kind of the classic spot reduction question. People ask this all the time, right? Hey, I'm leaning out great, but my lower abs, can I train those more to lean them out faster? I got a little bit of body fat there I don't like. Or, hey, but I'm not really happy with my legs right now. Can I train them more and it's going to make them better? I'm feeling like my arms are small. Can I do more curls, whatever, it's going to make them better? In reality, you can't do any of this stuff. All this will do is hold you back further, okay? When you need to have is obviously everything needs to be programmed in. If it's your goal to improve these areas, awesome. Tell your coach, tell whoever's making your program. Don't be doing these generic Google programs and ebooks and all that. Don't be doing any of that for starters. And then tell whoever's coaching you, hey, you know what? Build me a program to improve my legs. Build me something that's going to tighten up my abs more. Set me up for these because these are my goals. And if you don't have a custom coach, that's a problem because this is where, the customization is a huge, huge benefit. For me, when I coach people, when any of my coaches are coaching people, we do it for them. We hear their goals, we build things out, we get the results. That's why we have the success that we do is basically, I've worked with thousands of people and had thousands of success stories because we're able to do that. And so with that, you got to be smart about it. You got to know that, hey, you can't just do a crackerjack box approach, basically open a box, see what's in there. You kind of got to get something that's made for you. And so with that, you can't spot reduce either, all right? And so what happens is you got to follow the program. If you have got a coach or somebody set you up and you follow the program and you're going at it, then make sure that you're staying consistent with the program. Don't change things. Don't try to add more. Don't try to do more. And no, if you try to train your glutes every day, they're not going to get better. You try to train your abs every day, it's not going to get better. You try to train your arms every day, it's not going to get better because basically the only way that your body actually works is first in the gym you break down muscle tissue, okay? So if I want to, let's say I want to make my arms bigger, I could be like, oh, well, if I train them every day, they'll get bigger. In reality, that won't work because I have to go to the gym, train really hard, break down my bicep for one, right? And then I got to leave the gym, focus on my nutrition really well to grow, get the right nutrients in so that that muscle can repair itself. And when it repairs itself, that's when it actually gets bigger. This is the same for your abs. This is the same for your glutes, ladies. It's the same for anything that you're trying to do. A muscle is broken down in the gym and then repaired in recovery, right? And so with that, you got to understand the process of recovery revolves around actually having a window of time for recovery. For the most part, it's about 48 hours for any muscle tissue. So so what you really need to do is not train it every day, because if you train every day, basically you're shortchanging the recovery process. Every 12, 24 hours, you're going to hit that muscle again, and now it's like, wow, we're just getting beat up, but we're actually not growing, we're actually not recovering. You actually end up going catabolic, which means you're losing muscle mass, okay? And so that's something you obviously want to avoid no matter what, in every scenario that you possibly can, and you can do that very well, very easily, by making sure that you train hard, you train right, you train smart, you eat right, and get out of the gym to recover. And so very important to do for your programs, no matter what you're doing, whatever you're trying to do. You cannot spot reduce. You need to follow the program that's built to get you the result you want to get. Question number 4, we're rolling into fan questions very soon, fam. What we're talking about next is, how do I know when my calories are getting too low during a fat loss program? All right, so this is kind of like more of a general question. I get this all the time from people I don't coach, but sometimes even from ones I do that are like wondering what about their calories, when their calories are going to be low, whatever. In reality, it is done often outside of my coaching that people diet way too low. Crash diet's common. Coaches pushing, 500, 600, 700, 800 calories a day. Very common. Very dangerous. If your calories get that low, you're in a bad spot, all right? That is not good. It's not something you want to do. The level of calories differs for every single person, though, okay? So you need to know approximately, okay, here's where my actual metabolic health is. It's based on your height, your weight, your body fat percentage, your age. All this comes into play when you're figuring this out, your kind of calorie maintenance, and then you need to be in a deficit to burn body fat, okay? So some people that are very short and maybe weigh very little, you're gonna be eating less calories, right? You could actually be closer to, being way lower than some of your friends or some of your other people that maybe compete or are into fitness, because your size in general is different, okay? And somebody who's bigger, someone who's overweight, maybe you're very much taller, they're gonna have a lot higher calories to start. It's just the way it is, because basically your body's adapting, your metabolism's adapting to wherever you're at. So if you weigh 90 pounds and you're 4'11", you can definitely expect to be eating less calories to cut weight than someone who's 6'2" and 290 pounds. It's just the way it is, right? That person's gonna be eating double, maybe triple you, and they're still gonna be losing body fat. So what you gotta understand about this is the calories are always different. So you never really know exactly when it's too low unless you had a coach that was lazy or somebody that set you up wrong, or you're in the spot where it's definitely way, way too low, because you can tell in your body by how you feel and what's going on and your experience overall. In reality, most normal people are never going to get down near 1,000. Most girls that compete or are trying to lose weight should never get down to 1,000. It's just the way it is. Most mid-range, I'm talking about, the 5'4", 5'6", 5'7", whatever tall women that are like, 115, 130, whatever pounds, you're not going to get down to 1,000. You shouldn't be around there. That's probably too low. 900 for sure too low. It's hard to say. If you have serious questions about this, go to teamfflex.com, subscribe to my email list, and I'll get in contact with you and help you figure this out, because this is something that comes up all the time. People want to know. We'll get you in the app and we can chat a bit, and I can see, okay, here's where you're at, because a lot also comes down to the program you're doing, the activity that you're doing, whatever. If you're sedentary, your calories are going to be different than if you're doing 6 workouts a week, that kind of stuff. So everything comes into play. Basically, the reason I want to throw this in was you have to understand calories and macros are always custom, and they should be set up correctly for you, but the variance of what you're going to be and where you're going to be at is going to be different. And so you can't really say, oh, that person's on really low calories because mine are higher, being as you don't actually know what that person's doing or how the program's working or so on and so forth, all right? Question number 5, final question of my top 5, and then we're rolling into the 10 from the audience. How do I stay on track with workouts while traveling? All right, fam, it is the time of year where we are, traveling for the holidays. People are doing stuff. People are going around doing things, and the gym becomes harder to hit when you travel. So how do you stay on track? Very simple. Here's what you do. First, you look for a gym. Okay? You see if there's a gym that you could get to that you can, maybe pop into. Maybe it's near your hotel, whatever. If you're staying with friends, family, maybe they go to the gym. You can go with them, and then you go. Okay, simple as that. You plan ahead, you check around, and then you go execute, and you go to the gym. Now, what if you can't get to a gym, right? Well, you can look at a hotel gym. And no, it's not going to have all the equipment on a program. Likely, it's probably not going to have any of it. But can you do something? Yeah, absolutely. So if you got a coach, tell them where you're going, and they'll set you up. That's what I do. People tell me they're traveling. I say, okay, here you go. Here's an all-dumbbell workout. Let's do this. Right? What if you can't even get to a hotel gym? All right, you got a body weight. You got your body. You can still do something. Tell your damn coach, do something. You can stay on track with workouts no matter what. You might not be able to stay on track with the exact program you're doing, but staying on track with your activity and training will benefit you regardless of where you're at, what you're doing, what you have access to, okay? Doing a body weight workout instead of doing no workouts is way better, right? It's way, way better to do that than doing no workouts at all. And so with it, you got to be planning ahead. Hopefully you got a coach or something like that can help you. If you don't, you know, it's going to be harder, obviously, but figure it out. Make sure you stay on track. Don't use the holidays or traveling as an excuse to get off track, because it's not. If this is a life stuff, this is something you care about. If you're going to care about your physique January 1, your health January 1, your goals January 1, then you should care about them now. And that means you don't slack off in fucking December. We're moving on, fam. We are in the fans questions right now. We got 10 of these. I'm going to buzz through them quickly. These are good questions, actually. I picked out some good ones. Thank you for all of you that submitted them. Keep them coming at me. Shoot me a DM at Team Flex on Instagram if you want to be featured on Gainz O'Clock. But we're going to talk real quick through these. I'm going to get them through because I want you guys to take what you learned today on this episode and utilize it, put it to work, you know, keep it fresh in your mind, all right? Here we go. Question number 1 from James. How do you deal with haters? You know what? This is a very good question for everybody because haters are everywhere, right? We got haters all over the internet these days. Keyboard warriors, people that got a lot to say from the behind of their cell phone, but they actually don't have anything good to say in real life, and they won't actually say anything. And so with that, you got to understand, you know, here's how you deal with the haters. They don't fucking exist. You don't get into these conversations. You don't get into these arguments. You don't play any of these games. You know, you just ignore them. What I tell people to do, if you get a hater, block and move on. Literally just block it, delete it, move on with your life, and continue on whatever you're doing, because haters are going nowhere. They're always going to be there, and they're just wasting your fucking time and getting in your fucking way if you give them any of your energy. So block, delete, and move on, and that's it. Leave it at that. Don't deal with people like that. Don't engage with people like that. Don't think you need to become a keyboard warrior yourself. Move the fuck on and have a good time instead with actually achieving your goals, because these people are just a distraction and a waste of time. Honestly, that's probably one of the most valuable questions of the day for answers. Like, get the haters out of your life, fam, all right? Don't deal with it, all right? Let's move on. Question number 2, this is from Amy. Every time I drink a pre-workout, I throw up. Do you have any suggestions on better ones? All right, Amy, straight up, if you're throwing up drinking a pre-workout, just quit drinking the damn pre-workout, okay? This is unfortunately the truth. Is like, people think that you need these things. You don't need supplements to do any of the stuff you need to do in a gym. To train and to eat good, to get great results, you don't need supplements. That's all you need to do. You need to train, you need to eat good, and you're going to get great results. So, not super concerned about you not having a pre-workout. Super concerned about the fact that you're throwing up when you have one. That's not good for your body. That's not going to be good for your results at all. Don't do that. Stop drinking the pre-workout. You know, get a cup of coffee. Get some green tea. You know, a little caffeine and go. Because the main thing that most people get a kick out of with their pre-workout anyway is the caffeine. So, if that's what you're looking for, a little boost, a little kick, get some coffee, get a little green tea, move on with the day, and stop drinking them damn pre-workouts, all right? There's none that are better than others when it comes to that. All right, number 3. This is from Jessica. How do I stop with late night snacking? It's like I get on autopilot and I just can't control it. This is a super common question. I hear this all the time, Jessica. Here's what you do, okay? First few things you got to look at. You got to make sure that your nutrition plan is set up correctly. You got to make sure, in other words, that you're not like crash dieting. You're not in a too low of calorie range, too low on maybe some certain macros, fats, or carbs, usually, something like that, where it's making you crave things that you shouldn't be craving, and thus now you're hitting autopilot and all that because your body literally needs those things. So your nutrient breakdown, your calorie breakdown could be off. I don't know what kind of program you're doing, obviously. If you want help and you want me to take a look at it, anybody can do this, by the way. Team FFLEX FFLEX.com. Subscribe to the mailing list. I'll check it out for you. But basically, that's one thing. Check the macros, check the nutrients. Also check on your hydration levels, okay? How are you doing with your water intake? Everybody drinks a little bit different of water, right? It's a lot of coach recommendations come into play here. But like, let's say you're on a gallon a day. Are you getting a gallon a day? Is that your goal? Is that what you're doing? And how are you doing that? Is it spaced out throughout the day, or is it all at once? Whatever. Because a lot of times, two things are going down when you have this uncontrollable urge to snack. You're either not eating enough, not getting enough macronutrients, not getting enough actual nutrients overall, or you're not hydrated. And so if you can fix those two things, that fixes most of these problems, right? So if you get the calories up if they're too low, and you get the water intake up if it's too low, you're probably going to be in a good spot. So try that out. Let me know if you need help. Question number 4. No matter what I eat, at the end of the day, I am bloated. What can I do to fix it? This is from Ivy. So at the end of the day, she's getting bloated. Ivy, I know how it is. People talk about this all the time. It's something that comes up with a lot of my clients, a lot of people in general. A lot of times when you're getting bloated, it's something you're doing. People don't understand all the things that make you bloated. Chewing gum forces out air into your stomach and will make you bloated. People don't know this. So they could be chewing gum and they're getting bloated. And they're like, oh, well, why am I getting bloated? And they didn't correlate the fact that that's what it was, chewing gum. Also, carbonated drinks, right? Carbonated beverages, Bang energy drinks are huge in the fitness game. Full of carbonation. A lot of people like drinking, seltzer waters and things like that. Full of carbonation. All kinds of diet sodas, full of carbonation. If you're drinking those things, that's putting air bubbles in your belly again. You're bloating yourself out. So, first thing you got to look at is, are you eating things that are actually bloating you? Are you drinking things that are actually bloating you out and you just don't know what you're doing? That'd be starter's point. And then from there, you got to start looking at the individual foods then. If you realize, okay, I'm not doing any of those things, then you got to look at your foods. You might be a little allergic to some of the foods you're eating, or they just might not be the best choices. And to combat that bloat, I would mix up your foods, try some different things. And again, check those hydration levels, just like I told I think it was Jessica a minute ago. Hydration is huge for bloating. Make sure you're getting the right water in, make sure you're getting the right foods in, and make sure you're not eating any or drinking any of the things that will bloat you for sure. All right? Check that out. Let me know how it goes. We're almost there, fam. 5 to go. Question number 5 from Jay. How many calories above maintenance do you suggest for bulking? Depends on your program, Jay. Depends on your activity level. Everything else, it's all custom, okay? I know that I say this about everything. It's hard not to because it's true. Fitness works best. Goals work best. Results come best when everything's custom for you. But for a general sense, I would say, about 300 to 500 calories for starters above maintenance is good to go. I'll give you a generic kind of an example. If you find your actual maintenance calories correlated with the actual program you're following, then you can go 300 to 500 above, and you're going to be doing kind of like a quote-unquote lean bulk, right? You're going to be bulking up, building, growing, adding strength, muscle size, etc., without adding a ton of body fat. Because in that 300 to 500 calorie range, that's kind of that sweet spot. Above that, you're going to add fat more rapidly. Below that, you're probably not going to make any gains. So right in that realm, 300 to 500 calories, that's a good spot. And again, remember, please, anybody watching this is not a blanket statement. It's got to be custom for you. It could be different for everybody else. So make sure you know the difference. Make sure you know that these things got to be custom. But 300 to 500 calories is a good starting place for most people. If you want more help, go to teamfflex.com right now. All right. Question number 6 from Sydney. Should I do heavy weights or cardio while cutting calories? My goal is to maintain my muscle but get leaner. This is everybody's goal, Sydney, right? This is everybody's goal all the time. Maintain muscle, get leaner. Maintain muscle, get leaner. Good question, though. So do you want to lift heavy or do you want to do cardio? The answer would be Honestly, lift heavy. This is why I tell you to do first, okay? First statement I'd say, lift heavy, focus on that nutrition really good, okay? Don't cut calories too fast. Cut them down slowly. Focus on the nutrition well. Keep the protein up. Keep the carbs as high as you can. Keep the fat moderate. Obviously, you're going to have to cut some things down, but keep it all pretty balanced. Don't get crazy. In other words, don't just drop all the carbs one day or something like that. Start slow. Keep that protein up. Keep training hard. Lift heavy, train hard. You're probably going to see some great results with that alone right there. If you don't, after a good trial period, 4, 8 weeks, something like that, where you're not steadily moving down in any direction, you might be up and down, but the course is moving down. If that's not happening, now you might want to add in some cardio. Again, you start low, you start sparingly, you start with a little bit, add some more in, keep going as you need to figure it out. But you realistically need to be experimenting with the calories more so, figuring out where the range is. Maybe it's your macro profile, you need a little less carbs, a little more proteins, who knows. But the point is, start with the weights and start with the nutrition before you worry about the cardio. You're going to get most of your fat loss benefit from following those two things correctly. All right, Sean right here, number 7. What is the best seafood to eat for results? Kind of a crazy question, but I wanted to throw this in because it was like a unique one, right? Like seafood. Sean, straight up, dude, I'm not a huge advocate of eating things like tilapia and stuff like that. It's not a great, there's pretty much nothing in it. It's not the greatest source of nutrients or anything else for you, so I'm not a huge advocate of it. So I'd scratch that off the list right away. I would say top 2 would be tuna and salmon for me. That's what I'd say for most people to have. Salmon's got great omegas and all this other good stuff in it for you that's going to be healthy for your body, good source of protein. And then tuna is good too. The only problem with tuna is the mercury content can get to be too much. You can't eat it all the time. But, those 2 staples are good. They're lean. They got high protein. They got good nutrients. They got good oils and other things you need. That's where I leave it. I wouldn't go crazy further into that. Shrimp might be in there somewhere in a 3rd category because it's, again, just a nice lean source of protein. But basically, I wouldn't go outside that much. A lot of people do cod. A lot of people do like halibut. A lot of people do tilapia. I'm not a fan of it. I just don't think it's the best way for anybody to get results. I'm not a huge fan of the fish and rice diet that a lot of people do. It's not the best way to get results long term. It's too extreme and you won't like it. And so these other ones, you can do a lot with salmon, you can do a lot with tuna. It can be very good for you because what's important about a diet, no matter what, is that no matter what you're doing, it's got to be consistent. You got to be able to maintain it. So if you eat things you don't like, you're not going to be able to do that, and it's going to be game over. All right, so that's what I suggest. Number 8 from Ashley. My doctor told me I cannot work out for a couple weeks. Do I need to adjust my macros? Absolutely, Ashley, you do. Yeah, absolutely. So if you are doing macros that were built with a training program, in other words, and you were doing it for this and that, and your activity level, if the activity level goes down, the macros got to go down. So yeah, you're going to need some new numbers. There's no way around it. If you do the same ones, it is likely, you're going to have adverse effect from that. Probably going to gain some weight, stuff like that. And that's not what most people want to do. So yeah, make sure you calculate some new numbers. Anybody that ever changed your activity level, by the way, just in general, even if you do more activity, you do less for some reason, maybe you're not going all the way out of the gym, you got to adjust the numbers. Because most of the time, if you have a good program, the nutrition should go straight with the training, right? People always ask me to sell them just a meal plan. I'm like, no way, I can't do that. I can't make you just a meal plan. I need to make your training and your nutrition because I'm robbing you of results otherwise, right? So, with that, they got to go hand in hand. Everything should be working together, harmonization to get the best result. You're only going to get that if you got 2 things for you working at once. And so that's what it is, all right? So adjust your macros anytime anything changes, fam. Question number 9, 2 to go, fam, and then we are done with the Gainz o'clock. Hopefully you're learning a lot so far. Please thumb it up, please share it, subscribe it. All right, so here we go. This is from Kim. What should I be eating right after my workout? I'm trying to slim down. All right, so right after your workout, you don't need to eat anything special. There's a lot of hype and a lot of garbage stuff about the anabolic window, the specific time of whatever where you need to get these nutrients or your body's going to go into some source of like you're going to lose your muscle and gain more fat. It's not going to happen. What matters is the end of the day goals add up, the end of the day totals add up. What I suggest for people is after you train, you need to definitely replenish your body because you probably worked hard. Hopefully you did. Hopefully you worked hard. So, have a nice meal. Doesn't need to be anything special. Have what you want to have. One thing that comes up, I'm actually going to do some content on this next week, is like, do you need specific macros after? No, you don't. You don't. It's all crazy. All right, so start with that. Just get a meal you like. Try it out. Have a good time. Enjoy it. That's what matters. Make sure your end-of-day totals add up. Okay? So in other words, your calories, your macros, don't go over those. Make sure they add up at the end of the day. All's good. Everything's right as rain. Question number 10, last one from Tanya. Is olive oil cooking spray actually 0 calories? I like this question and I want to put it on here because there's a lot of things that claim they're 0 calories that are not. It is not likely that olive oil is actually 0 calories, okay? The olive oil spray, in other words. Olive oil itself is very dense in calories. The spray itself is probably not 0. What happens is anything under about 5 to 10 calories, depending on where we're at and what we're looking at, can be written as 0 because it's not regulated, basically. It's allowed to be a write-off in the sense of the food market and the labeling to where, okay, they can put 0 carbs, 0 calories, 0 this and that because it's under like 5, 10 calories where, the thermogenic effect of the food, whatever, all that, it's too much detail. But the point is there's a variability in it, and this is why a lot of people's macros get off sometimes too and they're confused by it. But basically there's a high variability in the fact that anything that's actually 0 calories or low calories, it might actually have more than it is. There's you're allowed to mix up the label, in other words, to say something because it's within the gracing period of the window of the 5 to 10 calories. So it probably has some calories. It's not something you need to worry about, honestly, unless you're caking that stuff on there. Pretty crazy. So that's it, fam. Thanks for watching Gainz O'Clock. That was a good Q&A today. I feel like we covered a lot of different topics. 5 of my questions, 10 of yours. We're going to keep doing this every single Friday. I'll be right back here on this channel bringing it to you. Please subscribe. Please share. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. And I'll be back on Monday with, what's Monday? Protein Power, where we're talking about nutrition. And I got shows all week. So if you subscribe to the channel, don't think it's just for Gainz O'Clock. You're going to get a lot more value out of it. Thank you for watching. Coach Rye is out.